This week, Jaguar boss Nick Shaler tells us the real reasons why they're calling their new baby the S-Type. Rutherford drives a Starship Enterprise. And we have a detailed report on the new Astra.
The car to be seen in these days seems to be an SUV, sports utility vehicle. You see them everywhere. Toyota's RAV4, the Honda CR-V, the Subaru Forester. More fashion statement than serious. Not as huge or as expensive as the rugged off-roaders. Just fun, flirty things that look the business. The problem comes when you try to do the business in them. Off-road? Forget it. Just imagine if some clever manufacturer could combine that funky styling, practicality with genuine off-road ability and wrap it up all in one neat little package. What, like this you mean? This is the Land Rover Freelander. This is the rather sensible 5-door station wagon, but there's also a particularly gorgeous 3-door version that comes with a removable hardtop, or would you believe a convertible option. Under the bonnet you can choose from a 2-litre diesel that's used in the Rover 6 and 800, or this 1.8-litre petrol that you'll find powering the MG-F. And once you've decided whether to go for the 3 or the 5-door, whether you want the soft or the hard top, you've chosen the engine you want, and you've picked one of the 14 colours or 14 interiors, then your problems have only just begun. Accessorise! You know how accessories finish off a look so well. Well, Land Rover have produced over 100 extra items specially designed for Freelander, so you can personalise it to suit your own tastes. A kind of expensive Meccano kit for grown-up boys and girls. Once your decision's made, even if you decide just to go for the basic model, the Freelander really does turn heads. And it's not just out of curiosity to see what Land Rover's new baby looks like. It stands out on the road for all the right reasons. It's macho looking with bulges in all the right places, but it's not too large or bulky looking. In fact, it's actually deceptively small because the Discovery really isn't that much larger. Although it's an all-new vehicle, you know instantly what family the Freelander is from. And just in case you're in any doubt about this vehicle's heritage, then there are plenty of logos around to remind you. Once inside the Freelander, you get a very pleasant surprise. You're greeted by something that seems to have been designed instead of stuck in as a bit of an afterthought. The Freelander design team have obviously realised that as drivers actually spend more time looking at the interior of a vehicle than we do the exterior. But my advice, if you're looking to make a real style statement, is to go for the Freelander 3-door. It has a wonderful interior. Exposed rivets and colour-coded paintwork everywhere. Very industrial, very 90s. Practicality hasn't been forgotten either. There are cubby holes, map nets and pockets everywhere. There's even a lockable hidey hole under the floor in the back, and there's also a power socket. Both driver and passengers have plenty of room, and although the boot isn't huge, folding down the split rear seats is an absolute breeze. See, nothing to it, and it gives you loads more space. One very useful feature is the electronically operated window on the tailgate. What will they think of next? So it's practical, and I'm sure you'll agree it's perfect for posing in. But let's get back to performance. The first thing you notice is that the Freelander really does feel like a car. You could easily be in the Rover 600, but that's not a bad thing. What it means is that you instantly feel at home behind the wheel. Everything feels familiar, you're just a bit higher up than normal. Around town the visibility really is excellent, and the power steering makes it extremely easy to park. Out on the open road it feels solid. It's a comfortable ride rather than a sporty ride because of the softer suspension, but the steering is direct and there's just a hint of body roll on these country roads. The performance you'll get from this 1.8-litre petrol engine isn't going to set you on fire, But having said that, it is quite lively. Drive the Freelander in a relaxed, easygoing way, and it won't disappoint you. Oh, I nearly forgot. What about the rough stuff? As they say, here's one I made earlier. As you can see, Daddy Discovery can be very proud of baby Freelander's off-road prowess. Particularly if you get a little optional extra fitted hill descent control. A clever little device that when engaged controls the anti-lock brakes, limiting your speed to 5.6 miles per hour. And if it senses a particularly nasty bit coming up, that speed slows down even more to 4.4 miles per hour. This clever gizmo, together with electronic traction control, a tail shaft with a viscous coupling and front and rear diffs with slightly different gearing, mean that if you want to go mud plugging, the Freelander will be well up for it. This isn't the cheapest, the fastest or the best equipped vehicle in its class, but the Freelander offers by far the best overall package. First of all, it catches your eye and then it delivers the goods. Nobody could accuse the Freelander of making promises it can't live up to. If only everything in life were like that.
Everyone's talking about the new baby Jag, the S-Type. To find out the reasons behind the name and how it should fare in the market, Jaguar boss Nick Shayler talks exclusively to Motor Week.
Well, S-Type really takes over from the last of the Mark IIs, because the Mark II in its final guise, if you will, when independent rear suspension was put on the car and a bigger boot, new interior, it was called the S-Type by Sir William Lyons back in 1962. And we rather liked that name, that designation. So that's why we picked it. It's a name that's obviously associated with Jaguar for a long time. We've used S, XJS of course, and we've used S for some of our sports saloons, but S-Type is going back to our roots and Sir William's roots.
Can you give us any predictions at this stage, although we haven't seen the car yet, of how it's going to fare in the marketplace?
We think very well. All of our research says this is a car that really knocks people out as soon as they see it. They like the look of the car. Nobody's seen the performance statistics yet, apart of course from us who are developing the car. The performance is really superb. It really is a sports saloon and recreates that segment which Jaguar first created in the late 50s and we then stepped away from. And so we're coming back home, and coming back home into a segment which we created, with a name that we created, with all of the heritage that Jaguar has, but totally modern, totally technologically up to date, and with a great powertrain.
Well, we all know about Kia of Korea. They've had some terrible financial problems lately. It seems the Korean government have bailed them out and have given them a financial hand. It would be nice if the British government did that for Rolls-Royce, wouldn't it? But I digress. Of course, we all know that Kia are famous for their small cars like the Little Pride, the Mentor, the Sportage. What about this? The new luxury limo from Kia. It obviously is designed to compete with things like the Jaguar, Mercedes, BMW. And I've got to say, it's a very, very plush, comfortable, refined car too. It's got a 3.6 litre V6 engine. It's called the Enterprise. A little bit tacky, I'd say, particularly this horrible gold here.